Hello everybody, welcome to the next game in the Demolition 2015 Strat-O-Matic League. We're in Series 7, just started Series 7 last week, or a couple days ago, depending on how it is. And that was the Mets in Arizona. That was the first game. Now we're at game 2, or matchup 2, I should say, of Series 7. And it's game number 92 overall out of 270. The replay date is May 3rd. 2015, and it is the Tampa Bay Rays versus the Cleveland Indians. All right, there are your starting lineups and bullpen for both teams. Lineups, benches, and bullpen. Starting pitchers for today's game, we've got to use a history maker baseball terminology, we have the two aces, if you want to call it that, on the mound. We have Corey Kluber for the Cleveland Indians, and we have Chris Archer for the Tampa Bay Rays. So they'll both be making their 5th starts of the season. 34 starts for Archer, which means he gets 11 in the season because everything's divided by 1/3. Kluber has 32, so I'm going to round it up to 33, and he gets 11 starts also. So this is start number 5 out of 11 for both of the pitchers. Got the score sheet here, ready to go. Rest rolls. The Rays had to rest Butler and Casali, and Cleveland had to rest Lindor and Perez. So that's why Lindor's on the bench and not starting like he would be. All right, injury report. We do have a couple of injuries, a couple of them major for the Rays. James Loney is out 15 games. He got hurt in the last couple of games offline. So he has got a 15-game injury to deal with. Kevin Kiermaier is out for 6 games. So 2 of their top lefties are injured, which is why on their bench they're full of right-handers. So all the lefties are in the lineup, the few they have. The only 2 lefties they have are the leadoff man Jaso and who was the other one? The other lefty is... Actually, DeJesus is on the bench. He's on the bench as a lefty. And I just saw something here that I screwed up on the computer, so I need to fix that as well. Get them straight. I had the wrong guy in the starting lineup, and that's not a good thing to do. So I will fix this real quickly while we're getting prepared. And no injuries for Cleveland, but did make one roster move. Ryan Rayburn was sent down, and Steve Swisher was called up. So there you're up to date on those numbers. And now I need to fix what was broken on the computer. Didn't have everything the way it should have been set up. And I'm looking at their minor leagues for the Rays, and they really don't have a whole lot of lefties in their minor league system. So we're kind of pretty much stuck with who you have at this point. Gonna have to just deal with it and go with it. All right, so let me get all this in order to make sure that my lineup on the computer as I enter the game is the same as what's on the score sheet so that we can get everything accurate. Both teams are 11-7 on the replay, so they're both battling for second place behind the Mets. Mets did, of course, lose against Arizona, so both teams trying to make up a little bit of ground if they can. That's their goal. So it's an important series for both teams. Let me make sure I've got all the things where they need to be. Okay, yep, Tampa Bay is now correct. Let me double check Cleveland, make sure they're not screwed up. Get them where they need to be. Okay, we got Bourne and Kipnis. And just for batting purposes and whatnot, Kipnis is still he's like a Triple Crown winner so far for Cleveland. He has just been red hot and unstoppable. So big task here for Chris Archer to try to avoid that. All right, so it looks like we are now all set and ready to go. My little snafu has been dealt with. We got our red and white dice for the Cleveland Indians. We got the injury report taken care of. And we are ready to go from Progressive Field. But like I said, both teams are 11-7. Injury for pitchers, they're both zeros, so they have no chance of being injured. So we don't have to worry about any injury rolls for the starting pitchers. Just the only thing we got to worry about is the bullpen guys. And I do have the injury sheet over here to take care of certain things. So hopefully that won't come up too much, but we shall see. All right. I'm recording this on a Saturday morning before I do the live game on the game of the week for 1986. I'm going to get a couple of videos in here so I can load them during the week. So this one should be loaded either Monday or Tuesday. I'm not sure which. We'll figure it out. All right. So Corey Kluber finishing up the warm-up tosses. And John Jaso will get the call. Let me make sure that everything is showing up the way I want it. Looks like it is. Okay, I wanted to make sure I got the dice tray in as far as I could because I noticed on some other videos that when the dice got down in the corner, you couldn't see them. So I want to make sure you can see everything. All right, so Corey Kluber on the replay is 2-1 with a 2.22 ERA, 28 innings pitched, 18 hits, 7 walks, 28 strikeouts, allowing 2 home runs. On the replay, John Jaso is 9 for 36, which comes to a 250 average, a homer, and 4 runs driven in. He is the designated hitter in this ball game to lead things off. 1-2, and he's going to be hit by a pitch right off the bat. Boy, Corey Kluber didn't waste any time pitching inside, and he plunks Mr. Jaso. I'm sure he's not happy about it. Just trying to get too far inside, and he plunks Mr. Jaso. Jaso, not much of a threat to steal. He's an E-steal. He won't even be held on. He's leadoff guy because he has a he has a 380 on-base percentage, so it's all about getting on base for him. And that'll bring up Tim Beckham, the second baseman. Beckham has not played in a while. He had been injured. He's only had 18 at-bats, but he is hitting .444. I believe that comes out to 8 for 18, if I'm not mistaken. A homer and 4 runs driven in. So he has been red hot, and the Rays have missed his bat, but he's there now. So Kluber trying to settle in against Beckham. 2-6 for Beckham, struck him out. So that was a nice bounce back for Mr. Kluber. Gets the K on the red hot Beckham. 1 away for third baseman Evan Longoria. And Longoria on the replay is hitting .347, doing quite well for himself in 75 at-bats. 2 homers and 9 runs driven in. It's a 4-6, first time off Kluber's card, and it's a ground ball third base A. That'll be a twin killing around the horn, 5-4-3 double play, and that'll take care of it here in the bottom of the first as Longoria hit a tailor-made ground ball right to Chisenhall at third for an easy 5-4-3 around the horn. Double play. We go to the bottom of the first. Tampa Bay nothing. Cleveland coming to bat. And Mr. Archer gets the call on the mound for the Rays. On the replay, Chris Archer is 2-1 with a 3.24 ERA. 25 innings pitched, 23 hits, 10 walks, 31 strikeouts. He has allowed 4 home runs. So long ball could be a little bit of problems. We shall see. And the Indians can certainly oblige him with some long balls. They've got some big hitters. Leading off, though, will be not such a big hitter, Michael Bourne. He's the guy with the speed. He's only hitting .206 in 68 at-bats, no homers and 9 runs driven in. Does have 5 steals out of 17 on the season, so he's definitely above his pace for steals. All right, Archer to Bourne. 4-10, and that's a strikeout. So Archer gets a strikeout of Bourne to start the bottom of the first. Bourne down on strikes, and now we get to the big hitters. Jason Kipnis. He's the best hitter in the league so far. He's hitting .419 in 74 at-bats, 2 homers and 13 driven in. It's not really a triple crown because he's only got 2 home runs, but he's definitely up there in the average. 5-9 for Archer. And that's a ground ball shortstop X. That is the shortstop Cabrera. He is a 2. 2-19. Cabrera will make the play. And Kipnis is retired. good start for Archer. 2 up and 2 down, and that brings up Carlos Santana, the first baseman. Santana hitting .254, 4 homers and 17 driven in. And that's a 4-2, switch hitter batting left. That's a fly to right. That's going to end the inning. So it is a 1-2-3 inning for Chris Archer as Cleveland goes down meekly in the bottom of the first. After 1 complete from Progressive Field, we've got no score. And with the aces going, you would expect maybe good pitching. So that's what we're getting so far. It's only been 1 inning, though, so got 8 more to go. 8, potentially more, but at least 8. All right. Here is Steven Souza, right fielder. He will lead off. He's hitting .273, homer and 6 runs driven in 55 at-bats. That's a 6-7, and that's a 1-12 single. Anything else, he will line it to Mr. Ramirez. And it's a 1, so it's going to get through for a base hit. So leadoff single for Souza, and it's the second time in a row that the Rays have gotten their leadoff man on base. Of course, they got erased on a double play in the previous inning, so no guarantee of success, obviously. But Mr. Souza is now on first base via the base hit. He's not much of a threat to run. He's a B stealer. I take that back. He is a B stealer. He did steal 12 bases, got caught 6 times. He will have to be held. As a B stealer, he's a 13, -3 for being held is a 10. So it'll be a 50-50 proposition if you wanted to steal him. I think they're going to let Cabrera hit. Cabrera is going to go ahead and hit behind him. They will hold Souza, but Souza won't try to steal anywhere. Cabrera is hitting .266. Does have 5 home runs and 14 driven in just 64 at-bats. 3-10, and that's a strikeout. So out number 1 as Cabrera goes down and strikes. And that brings up Logan Forsythe. And this is a spot where they hit into the double play last time. It was preceded by a strikeout, so it could be deja vu all over again. Logan Forsythe hitting .273, a homer and 3 runs driven in and 77 at-bats. He's played second base, and he's playing first base. With the injury to Loney, he will get a lot of time at first base. 5-6 versus a right-hander is a strikeout. Of course, Kluber's not tired yet, so that's 2 down. Souza will remain at first base. And that'll bring up the left fielder, Brandon Guyer. Guyer on the replay is hitting a robust .366 in 41 at-bats. No homers and 7 runs driven in. It's a 6-2, and that's a fly to left. There is a diamond there for super advanced. That would be a ballpark home run check, but in advanced, it stays a fly out. And the inning is over. So nothing doing there for the Rays. They come away empty-handed. We go to the bottom of the second. Still no score. And for the Cleveland Indians, it'll be Michael Brantley to lead things off. Brantley hitting .314. 3 homers and 16 driven in and 70 at-bats. 4-9, and that's a chance for another home run right here. 1-5 will be a homer. 6-20 he will settle with a double. And that's a 16. So Brantley, a leadoff double for Michael Brantley. He's aboard with that leadoff double. And that'll bring up the shortstop, Jose Ramirez. He will relinquish most of his shortstop duties going forward to Mr. Lindor, and they'll find time for him at third base, perhaps, and move Chisenhall to the outfield. But right now, with the rest needed for Lindor, Ramirez is getting that start. On the replay, Ramirez is hitting .271, no homers and 5 runs driven in. Brantley at second base, very good base runner. He will be held. 4-5, and that's a strikeout. So a big strikeout there for Archer to get an out without the runner advancing. And now is perhaps I believe he is the league's leading hitter, Lonnie Chisenhall. Hitting 458 in 48 at bats, a homer and 7 runs driven in. The only thing that's hurting him is he may not have enough at bats to qualify for the league lead, but he's certainly getting it done. 5-8 against the lefty. Not this time. Archer strikes him out. So Chris Archer coming back. Archer firing those arrows in there and striking them out. 2 down, and now it's up to Brandon Moss as Brantley is still stuck at second base. Brandon Moss, the DH, is hitting even 250 in 44 at bats, 11 for 44. 3 homers and 12 runs driven in. First base is open, and you do have Yan Gomes, who's a lesser hitter, coming up next. Do you pitch to Moss? I think they will. Archer's not scared. 6-6, and why not? Struck him out again. So Archer comes back and strikes out the side after the Brantley double, and that takes care of Cleveland right here in the second inning. So after 2 innings, it's no score, and Chris Archer did some great work to get out of that jam. Corey Kluber thought he was going to get some run support, but it didn't happen. And now he'll be facing the bottom portion of the order. Rene Rivera, the catcher, will lead things off. Rivera on the replay, hitting a meager 130 in 23 at-bats, no homers and 1 run driven in. It's 2-7, and that's a ground ball to short. So Ramirez is there, 1 away. And that'll bring up the center fielder, Desmond Jennings. He has been injured a bit, so he doesn't have a whole lot of at-bats to work with. He's only had 13 at-bats, but he's hitting 462 in those 13 at-bats with no homers and 4 runs driven in. 5-6. This time Kluber's going to get him on strikes, and that is out number 2. So 2 down, we're back to the top of the order for John Jaso. First time up, Jaso walked and was erased on a double play. 2-9 for Jaso. He will strike out. He had a bunch of walks there, but that 2-9 is a strikeout. And Kluber puts out the Rays in short order. 3 up and 3 down. We go to the bottom of the third. Still no score from Progressive Field. It's which pitcher or which team will flinch first. Archer back out, and he will be facing catcher Yan Gomes to lead things off. Gomes on the replay hitting 167, a homer and 4 runs driven in 30 at-bats. He's pretty much going 50-50 with Perez at catcher. They're kind of alternating games. Perez had to rest this game, so it was a no-brainer to have Gomes catch. Archer 6-6, and that's a strikeout. So Chris Archer, again, that's the 4th consecutive strikeout. He's got 6 on the game already as Gomes is put away. Here's Murphy. Murphy hitting 314 in 35 at-bats, a homer and 3 runs driven in. It's a 1-8, and that's a fly to left, 2 down. Put away out there by the left fielder Geyer. And we flip the order back over to Michael Bourne. Bourne, his first time up, struck out, as has many of the Cleveland batters. That's a 3-8 for Bourne. 1-6 will be a single. Anything else, he will line it to Beckham. And that's a 9. So that means Beckham grabbed it. He bent it like Beckham and was able to get that line drive and put Bourne away to end the inning. So 3 innings are in the books, and we are scoreless from Progressive Field in an expected pitching duel of the so-called, or known as aces. So Corey Kluber back out. Corey Kluber will be facing Tim Beckham. Beckham struck out his first chance. 1-5, not this time. 1's a triple, but anything else he will fly out to Murphy and right. And that's exactly what happens. Murphy puts it away. 1 down for Longoria. And I need to put this in the computer as they happen. I don't want to wait till the end of the inning because then sometimes I get screwed up. So I got to log the outs or log the results as they happen for each at bat, or I'm going to get screwed up. So here's Longoria. Longoria hitting to that double play, his first chance. Looking to atone. 1-8 is a walk. So Evan Longoria draws the 1-out walk. Second walk issued by Kluber. Sure, Kluber does not like allowing the runners on base like that via free pass, but that's what happened. Longoria, D-stealer, will not be held. He stole 3 bases on the season, got caught once, but I think he was doing that by surprise. Not being held, a D-stealer, you're still don't have very good odds. Let's see, D-stealer, it's still only a 1 to 9 chance. But I tell you what, runs could be at a premium here, so we may let Longoria go ahead and try this. He's not being held. He's a D-stealer, so it's a 1 to 9. There is no subtraction because he's not being held. So it's a 45% chance. So we're going to let Longoria give it a go with 1 out. He's going to try to get in the scoring position. Needs a 1 through 9 to be successful. 14, he's caught stealing. So, oh well. Try to be a little aggressive, and it just... When runs are at a premium, you got to try to do what you can do, but Kipnis was right there waiting for him for out number 2 as Gomes unloaded. So here's Souza, right fielder. He got a base hit his first time up. 4-6, and he's going to ground it to third. It would have been a double play again. So had we not sent him, that would have been a double play. So you're pretty much darned if you do and darned if you don't in that situation. But that's going to do it for the Tampa Bay Rays here in the top of the third. Try to be aggressive, actually top of the fourth rather. Try to be aggressive, and it just didn't pay off. But it wouldn't have mattered anyway. As the dice rolls turned out, it would have been a double play. All right, so Archer back out to start the bottom of the fourth, and it's Jason Kipnis time. Kipnis, his first chance up. Grounded to short. 3-6, not this time. That'll be a solid double for Jason Kipnis. And he continues his hot hitting as teams have been able to stop him once in a while, but not very often. Leadoff double for Jason Kipnis. He is aboard, and he will have to be held. He's a good runner. He runs at a 15, so they definitely want to hold him on. Carlos Santana, the batter. 5-5, and that's a strikeout. So big strikeout there by Archer. Seems like every time he gets in trouble, he leans on that strikeout pitch. Here's Brantley. Now, first base is open, and Brantley's a heck of a hitter. So let's see if they want to go for an intentional walk. That could be risky. Although, like I said, Brantley's hitting 324. Could set up a double play. You know what? They're gonna intentionally walk Brantley. And what that will do is get the bat out of Brantley's hand and also set up a potential double play for Jose Ramirez. And Ramirez does have some ground ball A's, a couple of ground ball A's on his card. So let's give Brantley the intentional walk. And like I said, Kipnis runs at a 15, so they're going to have to hold him on. So the ground ball with the plus comes into play also. Got to watch out for the 3-6 roll on Ramirez's card. All right, Archer trying to induce the double play grounder, facing Ramirez. First real threat of the game for either team. 111. Boy, oh, I missed the plus there. That 12 would have been a plus, would have gotten through for a base hit, but it's 11. It's a ground ball third base B. So that's a fielder's choice. Brantley will be eliminated. Kipnis will go to third base. Kipnis will take third base, and reaching safely on the fielder's choice is Jose Ramirez. So the Tribe have runners on the corners with 2 down. First real threat. And let's see, that ground ball out went 5-4. All right, runners on the corners for the equally red-hot Lonnie Chisenhall. Like I said, he's hitting 449. Now, his first at bat, he struck out. So Archer really got to bow up here and get this last out. Ramirez at first base will be held. He's a good base runner. He stole 10 bases, so you can't just leave him there. So they will have to hold Ramirez, and that opens up the 112 result and a couple of results here in column 3. So Archer has to be careful. Archer to Chisenhall. 311, and there you go. Right on cue, that ground ball plus B is going to be a base hit because they were holding Ramirez on. That's going to be a base hit that's going to score the run. The Tribe break through first on a base hit by Chisenhall. Took advantage of the holding the runner, and it got right by him. So Indians now lead at 1-0 on the base hit by Chisenhall. Runners at the corners again. That hasn't changed. Now Chisenhall, C stealer, but do you hold him on again? I guess you kind of have to because you don't want to give him a free base. The only plus on Moss's card, I believe, is right here against right-handers. So as long as they avoid a 3-7, they'll be fine. But right now, 1-0 Tribe with 2 outs and runners on the corners. Archer trying to get out of the mess. 4-12, and that's a strikeout. So he gets out of the mess via a strikeout. But Cleveland breaks through first and gets that first run across the board to take a 1-0 lead. I was doing it in the computer so much I forgot to update my score sheet, so I need to do that. And then Moss struck out to end the inning. Okay, so now we're straight there. All right, we go to the 5th. It's 1-0 Cleveland. Is that plus sign on the with the holding the runners came back to bite them. But you just can't just let guys have carte blanche steals of second base either. So got to pick your poison. All right, we start at the top of the 5th. And Asdrubal Cabrera will lead it off for the Rays. Cabrera struck out his first chance. That's a 2-7, and that's a 1 for a single. Anything else, he will line it to Kipnis. So a 5% chance of a single, but it's not going to happen. Kipnis will snag it. Out number 1. That brings up Logan Forsythe. Forsythe, his first chance. Struck out as well, so trying to improve on that result. 311, he will. It's a base hit. There are no ballpark effects to be concerned with. So in advanced, there's none of that. So Logan Forsythe will reach with a 1-out single. He is now the tying run, staying on first base. Forsythe is a C stealer. He did steal 9 bases, got caught 4 times, so he will have to be held. He won't try to go anywhere, but the Indians at least need to pay attention to him and hold him on. I usually hold on anybody C and above. Generically, that's kind of where I go, but there are exceptions, but that's the norm. All right, Brandon Guyer flew to right his first chance. That's a 2-5, and that's a strikeout. He just missed a home run chance, but 2-5 is a strikeout. And Guyer is out of there. 2 down, it's going to be up to Mr. Rene Rivera to keep it going. Not a good prospect, though, as Rivera grounded short his first time up, and his average has now dropped to $1.25. 4-6, and that's a ground ball to third with an A there. We're going to call it a fielder's choice, as third baseman Chisenhall goes a short way to Kipnis for the fielder's choice. 5-4, and that's going to end the inning. So nothing doing for the Rays here in the top of the 5th. Corey Kluber sharp as ever. And that 1 run might just be enough the way Kluber's pitching. That might just be enough to get it done. But we still got a couple of innings, 4 innings to go, so can't bank on that. Archer is back out, and he'll be facing Yan Gomes. So Yan Gomes is your leadoff man. First time up, he struck out. 4-5, and he'll strike out again. So Yan Gomes out on strikes. Archer accumulating the strikeouts, but he's down 1-0. Here's Murphy. His first chance, he flew to left. 3-9, and this time he'll ground it right back to Archer, an easy play. 2 up and 2 down for the top of the order, and Michael Bourne. Bourne is 0 for 2. He struck out in the first and lined out to second in the third. 1-8, and he's going to strike out again. So He's 0 for 3 to end the inning. Nothing doing for Cleveland in the bottom of the 5th. We go to the 6th. Still 1-0. Favor of the Tribe. Kluber back out. His fatigue is a 7. Archer's is a 6, so he will be on watch next inning for fatigue, but Kluber's still definitely good to go. And for the Rays, it'll be the 9th man in the order, Desmond Jennings, to lead things off. Jennings struck out his first chance. 1-5, and it's a leadoff single for Desmond Jennings. He's like a pseudo leadoff hitter, which is why they have him batting 9th. And there you go, right there. Exhibit A, ground ball, a base hit to lead off the inning. And he's already a threat to run, so we'll see about his calculations for potential steal chance. Jennings runs at steals at a B, which is a 13, being held as a -3 for a 10. Be a 50-50 chance. They already tried it with Longoria, and he got caught on a 1-9. This would be a 1-10. Jaso, you know what? He's got some plus chances on his number 3 column here that by holding the runner, he can get some base hits to go through, but he's also got some ground ball A's on his card. So it's a tough decision whether you send Jennings or not. You hate to run yourself out of an inning that quickly. They're going to hold Jennings at first base, and Jennings will not go anywhere. They're going to let Jaso hit. A 1-8, and that's a 1-3 for a single. 4-20, it's a fielder's choice to Kluber. And that's a fielder's choice to Kluber. So Jennings will be eliminated on a fielder's choice. It's going to go 1-6. And the new runner on base will be the much slower Jaso. So they won't even have to hold Jaso on since they eliminated the faster runner. So 1-6 fielder's choice brings up Tim Beckham. Jaso, of course, not being held on. I'm going to put that in the computer before I forget. All right, here's Beckham. 6-9, that's another strikeout for Kluber, 2 down. Kluber 1 out away from getting out of this. Here comes Longoria. Arguably the best hitter for the Rays. Although on the replay, he is hitting .342, so I guess that backs it up. So Longoria is up with 2 outs and a runner, Jaso, at first, who is not being held. That's a 1-7, and he's going to pop it up to third. Chisenhall puts it away, and the inning is over. So Rays get the leadoff man on, but that's all they can do. We go to the bottom of the 6th. Still 1-0 Cleveland. This is the fatigue inning for Chris Archer. So we've got to keep an eye on him, and he's going to face the heart of the order, Kipnis, Santana, and Brantley. Definitely the meat of the order. Kipnis did double and score. The only run of the game is last time up. 1-4. Fly ball to left, 1 away. Is put out there by Geyer, and that keeps Kipnis off the bases, which is a good idea if you're facing the Indians in this replay. Definitely want to keep him off the bases. Here's Carlos Santana. 6-6, switch hitter batting left. That's a strikeout, so Archer gets yet another strikeout. Quickly 2 up and 2 down. He's thinking about pitching more than just 6 innings, apparently. And that brings up Michael Brantley. Brantley doubled in the 2nd and was intentionally walked in the 4th. 4-9, and that's trouble. 1-5 is a home run. 6-20 will be a double for Michael Brantley. And it is gone. A number 3 there says that is a home run for Michael Brantley. And Cleveland takes a 2-0 lead on the home run for Michael Brantley. For Brantley, that is home run number 4, RBI number 17. And Cleveland leads it 2-0. That's the first knock on Archer's point of weakness. That brings up Jose Ramirez with 2 down. It's a 2-6, and that's a walk. And boy, I go back to an old saying or old mentioning by Tabletop Earl, who said that the most most average, or I guess the most likely result after a home run is a walk, and there it is right there. I guess because the pitcher gets tentative after giving up a long ball and they can't find the strike zone. So here's Lonnie Chisenhall. Ramirez will have to be held. He's a good base runner. Stole 10 bases. He is a B. A B is 1 to 13. And again, that'd be a 10 for being held. So looking at a 50-50 proposition. Now again, they do have a 2-0 lead, so you're kind of playing with house money. So let's see what they want to do here. You hate to take the bat out of Chisenhall's hand though with somebody on base, so I think they're gonna hold Ramirez there. He is being held, but he won't try to go anywhere. Here's Chisenhall, and Chisenhall so far is 1 for 2. He struck out in the second, singled in the fourth. His was an RBI single through the plus sign for being held. 411 is another single to center field. Now, will Ramirez try for third is the question. Ramirez base running is a 16. What's being held makes him a 15, but there are 2 outs. So that bumps it up to a 17. Center fielder Arm Jennings, it's a +2, makes it a 19. So he will go to second base unless he's a 20, which is not. So Ramirez will go to third base rather, not second base. So Ramirez does take third on the base hit, courtesy of Chisenhall, who yet again gets another hit, improves the average even more. So runners are at the corners with 2 down for the designated hitter Brandon Moss. That's the second knock against Archer. So 1 more hit, and then he will hit his fatigue level. Trying to get through the 6th inning if possible. Chisenhall, C-stealer. So they're going to have to hold, I guess they don't have to hold him on, but I pretty much hold on anybody C and above. So he will be held on, but the only thing that can hurt him is a 3-7. So as long as he avoids a 3-7, he'll be fine. That's a 4-3, and that's a strikeout. So Archer gets a big strikeout there as well. Keeps the score where it is at 2-0. But against Kluber, that seems like almost an insurmountable lead. And we'll see if Archer comes back for the 7th or not. He may or may not. We shall see. He's not fatigued yet, so he certainly could come back. Kluber, this is his fatigue inning coming up. So we got to watch out for that. And see how that plays out. So Kluber will be facing Sousa, Cabrera, and Forsythe to start the 7th. Sousa, his first time up, singled, and then he grounded to short in the 4th, 1 for 2. And here is the pitch, 1-6. It's a strikeout, so yet another strikeout for Kluber. He looks like he wants to go 9 if possible, but you never know. Here's Cabrera. And it's a 5-12 against the switch hitter batting left. 5-12 is a ground ball first base X. That is Santana. Santana is a 4. This could get through. 4 and a 14. Possibly could go to an error check here. Let's see. 4 and a 14 for a first baseman. Does go to an error check. Anything 7 through 15, we check an error. That's a 14, so we check for an error. Santana's an E4, so he's going to be better off checking his error than his range. As an E4, that's an 11, though. That's kind of interesting. E4 and 11, the high numbers could get him in trouble, but this time 5 through 12 is a ground ball A, so it's going to be good enough. Of course, we call it a ground ball C around here because it's on the X chart, so it's going to be 3-1 officially in the computer, as he has to handle that tough chance and flip to Kluber covering for out number 2. And here is Logan Forsythe, first baseman. Forsythe, his first 2 times up. Wait a minute, did I get something screwed up here? Let me see here. Where am I off on this? Okay, Sousa struck out. And Cabrera just hit into the 3-1 ground out. So now we got Forsythe come up. Now I'm straight. All right, Forsythe, 1 for 2, struck out in the 2nd, singled in the 5th. 4-11 against a righty is a base hit as I drop my pen. Right on cue. So a base hit, 2-out single for Logan Forsythe. He's aboard. C Steeler, he will be held, but he's not going to try to run, not down 2-0. They don't want to. They need him to be on base. It doesn't matter where. And that's going to bring up Brandon Geyer. First knock on the point of weakness for Kluber. Geyer's up. He's 0 for 2. Flew to right in the second. Struck out in the fifth. 5-11. And that's a ground ball to short with an A. So it would have been a double play. So when those things come up, I usually say he goes the short way to second for the out. So we'll call it 6-4. Fielder's choice to end the inning. And Corey Kluber has made it through 7 innings. Shutout ball. And we go the 7th inning stretch with the score. Cleveland 2 and Tampa nothing. Tampa bullpen does have activity down there. And while we try to figure out what the activity is, I will stand for the 7th inning stretch and get ready for the rest of this ball game. Enjoy the 7th inning stretch. All right, everybody. We are now ready for the bottom of the 7th. And I noticed something on my computer is not quite copacetic matching up with my score sheet. So I got to go back and look at the game log because I've got Brandon Moss leading off and it should be Yan Gomes according to my score sheet. So I got to figure out what in the world I did. So good thing about the computer is you can go back and check the game log. In the check information tab, you can go to my play-by-play account and see what I did or didn't do in the bottom of the 6th. I got everything screwed up. Kipnis flew out. I got that right. Santana struck out. Got that right. Brantley hit the home run. Got that right. Ramirez walked. Got that right. Oh, I gave Chisenhall a strikeout instead of a base hit, so that's where I screwed it up. I don't know how I managed, because I didn't do it on time because Moss struck out to end the inning. So I want to pause the video so I can fix this because I don't want to cheat him out of a base hit. So I'm going to pause the video and get this all straight, and then we'll get going for the rest of the ball game. Okay, we are back. Thank goodness for the undo last play feature in the Strat PC. I was able to get everything squared away. That's going to do it for Archer. He's going to go 6 innings, give up 5 hits, 2 runs. They both earned, walked 2, struck out 11. But he's in danger of taking the loss. New pitcher for the Tampa Bay Rays is going to be left-hander Jake McGee. And we'll get the replay numbers on McGee. He is 0-1 with a 3.52 ERA, 8 innings pitched, 6 hits, 2 walks, and 8 strikeouts. So Jake McGee, and we've crossed him off the bullpen list of availability. Now Gomes is going to lead off as a right-handed hitter, but then you have 3 lefties in a row, Murphy, Bourne, and Kipnis. So that's the reason they're going to McGee. So McGee will be on to face Yan Gomes. And Archer went 6 innings and faced 25 batters. He was right at his fatigue level because he did give up 3 base runners last inning. So he was fatigued. So they felt the need to go ahead and remove him after 6 innings. So here's Gomes. He's going to lead it off. He is 0 for 2. He struck out twice trying to avoid the hat trick. That's a 6-7, but he's not going to avoid the hat trick. He's going to get the hat trick. So Gomes 0 for 3 with 3 Ks. That brings up Murphy. Now, they could pinch hit for Murphy. They do have a Vilas or a switch hitter Swisher coming up. Let's check Swisher and see what his defense is, because they could give Swisher his first game action since being called up. Swisher defensively is only a 4, though, so you drop off 1, 3 to 4 if you brought him in as a pinch hitter. So I think they're going to leave Murphy in there for his defense, if nothing else. So lefty on lefty matchup, 210, and he's going to get a base hit against the lefty. How about that? It says, don't take me out. So Murphy gets himself a base hit against the lefty. 1 out single for Murphy. He is an E stealer, so he will not even be held. He had no stolen bases in the 15th season and was caught twice. So they're going to freeze him at first base. They're not going to hold him on, and we're back to the top of the order from Michael Bourne. Bourne is 0 for 3, struck out twice, trying to also avoid a hat trick. 5-7, lefty on lefty matchup, but a 1 to 13 is a base hit. 14 to 20, he lines out to first. That's an 11, so it's going to be a base hit for Mr. Bourne. It's a 1-star advancement only. So runners are going to be at first and second. And now bullpen activity for the Rays continues as a right-hander is loosening down there, as McGee is running into issues. But McGee is going to stay in there long enough to face the left-hander Kipnis. And in the bullpen for the Rays, looks like right-hander Gomes is loosening in the bullpen. Right now it's lefty on lefty Kipnis against McGee. Nobody's being held on, so don't have to worry about the plus signs. They're trying to turn double play. 6-6, and he struck him out. He's not tired yet. He's only given up 2 hits, so he's still okay. That strikeout is good by Mr. McGee. So now that'll bring up Santana. He's a switch hitter, so it doesn't matter who you bring in, whether lefty or righty. And he hits pretty much, looks like on his card, he pretty much hits the same versus both of them. So it's just a matter of pick your poison. I guess they're going to stick with McGee to face Santana, see if he can get out of the inning. That's a 2-4. That's a fly to right. That's going to end the inning. So McGee pitches out of trouble. Does his 1 inning of work to get out of the jam. And we go to the top of the 8th. Still 2-0. Favor the Tribe. Kluber still rolling along. Not any danger of taking him out just yet, I don't believe. Although he did have, well, he only had 1 knock against his point of weakness, so he's still pretty good. And he'll be dealing with Rivera, Jennings, and Jaso, although we could pinch hit for Rivera here. It's probably not a bad idea at this point in the game. We're in the 8th, so anybody that had to rest is available. So let's look at the bench for the Rays. They have DeJesus, Casali, Butler, and Elmore. So it looks like to me David DeJesus would be the logical choice to pinch hit. He's only a .233 hitter on the season. He would later get traded to the Angels. But let's see what he's doing on the replay. But they're going to play the percentages and use him anyway. So they're going to pinch hit with DeJesus, and they'll bring in Casali to catch. So DeJesus on the replay has only hit a .190. 58 at-bats, a homer and 7 runs driven in, but they feel like they need to play the percentages. So it will, in fact, be DeJesus to lead things off. So we'll scratch off DeJesus and Casali, because Casali's going to come in and catch in the bottom of the 8th. So Rivera, his day is done. That still leaves Butler and Elmore on the bench. But they got to do what they got to do. So this is DeJesus, the batter. Here in the top of the 8th, trailing 2-0, trying to get something started against Mr. Kluber. Indians bullpen still a little bit quiet right now, as they figure Kluber has it in control. We shall see. That's a 2-5, and that's a walk. It was going to be a 2-4. That thing flipped to a 3 at the last minute and went from a fly out to a walk. So DeJesus comes in and gets a pinch hit walk. That's kind of unusual, a pinch hit walk. But he is on base, and now the tying run will come to the plate in Desmond Jennings. Leadoff walk to De Jesus, and that brings up Jennings. Jennings on the game so far. 1 for 2, struck out in the third, singled in the sixth. De Jesus, should have mentioned, is being held, but he won't try to go anywhere. 2-6, and that's a fly to left. Boy, that if it had been 2-7, that being held would have made a difference, plus you had an injury. But this is a 2-6. Simply a fly to left. And there's one away. Top of the order for John Jaso. So it is Jaso stepping to the plate. De Jesus, of course, is being held. 4-4. Ground ball shortstop X, that is Ramirez. Ramirez at short is a 3. 3 and a 17 could be a double play. 3 and a 17 for a shortstop. A 3 and a 17 is a ground ball B, not an A, so it's a fielder's choice. De Jesus is erased, and the slow running Jaso will be the new runner at first base as that out goes 6-4. Jaso is the new runner on the fielder's choice. And that brings up Beckham. Beckham is 0 for 3, struck out twice, so he's trying to avoid a hat trick as well. All right, so Beckham trying to get it done. 4-12 against Kluber. That's trouble. 1-19 is a home run. He does have normal power. We don't have to worry about ballpark effects. So anything other than the 20, and this game will be tied. And it's gone. Tim bent it like Beckham bent that one straight across for a 2-run homer. And just like that, we are tied at 2 apiece, and Kluber is furious with himself. He knew as soon as he let that ball go, it was not the pitch he wanted. Home run number 2 for Beckham, RBIs 5 and 6. And we are tied at 2 apiece. We got a brand new ball game. That takes Chris Archer off the hook for the loss. And now the Cleveland bullpen is definitely stirring, as Kluber just about at fatigue level, but not quite. One more batter and he'll be fatigued. One more base runner, he'll be fatigued. But a 2-run home run as Jaso comes in to score along with Beckham. And we are tied at 2 here in the bottom, or in the top of the 8th rather. Longoria stepping to the plate against Kluber. 3-6, and that's a single. So that's going to do it for Kluber. He is now fatigued, and he seems to have just kind of lost it here all at the same time. After the first 2 were out, he seems to have just, whatever he had, he seems to have lost it. So rather than take a chance of having to go any further, and now the computer has confirmed with that base hit that Corey Kluber is tired. So we go to the bullpen for Cleveland, and we'll see who they want to bring in, who's got the least amount of innings that could possibly help their cause. They want to go to a righty because there's righties coming up. And it looks to me they're going to go to Brian Shaw out of the bullpen. So the Indians will turn it over to their bullpen. Mr. Brian Shaw will be the first one out of the bullpen. And Brian Shaw, on the replay, is 0-2 with an 8.22 ERA, 8 innings pitched, 9 hits, 2 walks, and 7 strikeouts. But on the real season, he was doing very well. So, I'm just going to chalk that up to, a low amount of data. Not enough at bats to really give a true reflection. So we're going to go with Mr. Shaw. See if he can get out of the jam. Kluber goes 7 2/3. Faces 30 batters, actually. Longoria was his 30th batter. So, and he could take the loss, potentially, if Longoria comes around to score. So, Shaw trying to prevent the inherited runner. Longoria will be held as no, he won't be held, actually. He's a D stealer, so they will not hold him on. He got caught trying to steal by not being held on back in the 4th, and the Rays don't want to go through that again. So they will go ahead and let Souza swing away against the new pitcher, Brian Shaw. 6-3, and that's a home run chance right here. 1-14. He does have normal power. So Steven Souza on a 1-14 could go deep, and we'd have back-to-back 2-run homers. But it's an 18, so it's just a fly to left. So thank goodness, if you're a Cleveland fan, that Shaw was able to get that done. Forgot to mark Shaw off here. But he prevented that, and it also prevented me from having to white out this number 2 here and make it a 4. So a lot of things, I guess, kept things neater by that not being a home run. But, of course, Tampa Bay didn't appreciate that. They wanted the home run, but that's the way it went. So we go to the top of the 9th, tied at 2. And now we'll figure out who's going to be pitching for Tampa, because I believe McGee is probably done, although he might come out and face Brantley. One more lefty. Actually, there's a couple of lefties coming up. So they may go to the other left-hander out of the pen. We shall see how they want to play this. Bottom of the 8th. I said top of the 9th. I don't know why. It's bottom of the 8th, tied at 2. Brantley, Ramirez, and Chisenhall, 2 lefties and a switch. So I think they're going to go to their other left-hander, Xavier Cedeno, out of the bullpen for Tampa, as McGee is mainly a 1-inning pitcher. So they will bring in Cedeno. He will come on and pitch. Cedeno in the replay, 1-0 with an ERA of an even 3. 9 innings pitched, 8 hits, 1 walk, and 9 strikeouts. Has given up 2 long balls, so that's a bit of a concern. But we'll see what he does here in the bottom of the 8th, tied at 2. And Brantley, Ramirez, and Chisenhall, we'll see what they have to say about it. Cedeno, 6'10". Oh, I need to check the injury check for relief pitchers. I've been forgetting to do that. So let's see what Cedeno has to offer for his injury check. Cedeno is a 1, which means a 12. 6'12" would be the error check, but that's not going to affect him here on 6'10". So a lefty-lefty 6'10" is a ground ball shortstop X. That is Cabrera. And Cabrera is a 2. 2 and a 2. 2 and a 2. I'm pretty sure that gets through for a hit. A 2 and a 2 it does. It's a single. So unfortunate roll in the D20 there, and Brantley sneaks it through for a base hit. Kind of a tough luck break there for Cedeno. He thought he had the pitch he needed, but didn't work out that way. Leadoff single. That brings up Jose Ramirez. He's actually a decent bunter, but I think they're going to have him swing away. Brantley, though, could be looking to steal a base. He's an A stealer, which starts him as a 15. Being held is a -2 for a 13. And the new catcher, Kirk Casale, is a +1 arm. That's a 1-14. They're going to send Brantley. 1-14, he's going to steal it. And he does. So Brantley steals second base. And boy, that really puts the pressure on the Rays, as Brantley gets himself a stolen base number 4 on the season for Brantley. He's in scoring position right away for Ramirez. Brantley being held on second base. Cedeno, 5-7 against switch hitter batting right, is a strikeout. So a big strikeout for Cedeno to not allow Brantley to move up any further. And now we got another lefty-on-lefty matchup with Lonnie Chisenhall, but you're not going to pinch it for Chisenhall. Not going to pinch it for a guy who's hitting .471, so you're going to let him swing away. He does have pretty good at-bats against lefties. 5-8 lefty-on-lefty is a ground ball second base X. That's still good to run it to third regardless of what happens. Second baseman is Beckham. He's a 3. 3 and 11 probably goes to an error check. 3 and 11 does go to an error check, and his error check, unfortunately for him, is 34. One of the worst you can have. And that's a 9. So an E34 and a 9 actually he got a break. It's a ground ball A on that. So how about that? It will move Brantley to third because the ball was hit to second base. That's the one advanced rule or one, I guess, little modification to the advanced thing that I do to keep it realistic is anytime a ball gets hit to the right side, even though the chart says the runner holds at second, we're going to let him go to third. So he's at third base now with 2 down. And now we got lefty Moss as the DH, but I believe he's going to get called back. So Moss is going to get called back, and we're going to get a pinch hitter for the designated hitter Moss. His day is done, as they want to bring in a righty to face the lefty. And let's see who they're going to bring in. Vilas has had a really, you know what? They're gonna turn it over to the newest addition to their roster, Nick Swisher. He will be coming on as a switch hitter, batting. Obviously from the right, he does hit better against lefties according to the computer. So even though his average overall is not very good, he does show up as a 3L if you're familiar with the computer terminology. They're giving him an advantage of a 3 against lefties, so his average, or his figures go up better against lefties. So Nick Swisher is on. He only hit a .198 on the real season, 101 at bats, but he does hit better against lefties, and he's got a pretty good column there against lefties, column 2 at least. So Swisher is up, his first at bat since being called up. Cedeno going to stay in there, so we're going to scratch off Moss and put Swisher here. And we need to scratch off Rivera and put Casale here because they've been switched out. Okay, so Swisher against Cedeno. 6-9, ground ball, shortstop X. We're looking at Cabrera again. Cabrera is a 2 and a 7, so I believe he's going to make that play. Let's take a look to be sure. Yep, ground ball B, that's good enough. That's going to do it to end the inning and prevent any further damage that could have possibly come across. But through all that, the Indians come away empty-handed, and we're going to go to the 9th tied at 2. So Brantley stranded at third base. We are tied at 2. Top of the 9th, Brian Shaw is going to stay in there, as he only faced 1 batter. So he's still good to go. And it's going to face Cabrera, who made that nice defensive play. He's going to lead things off. It'll be Cabrera, Forsythe, and Geyer against Brian Shaw to lead off the top of the 9th, tied at 2. Cabrera, 3-4, and that's a fly to right, 1 away. So Shaw makes quick work of Cabrera, 1 away for Logan Forsythe. To 1-5, that's a strikeout, so 2 down. And again, the Rays are definitely missing those 2 left-handed hitters, Loney and Kiermaier, that they could be using as pinch hitters right about now. But you got to deal with what you got to deal with. Here's Logan I'm sorry, I got it backwards. I didn't put the fly out to right in there for Cabrera. So again, the old undo works out pretty well. All right, now we're ready for Geyer with 2 outs and the bases clear. 4-8, and that's a fly ball to center field. That's going to end the inning. So Brian Shaw does well for himself, an inning and a third, facing 4 batters, and he's going to be done for the day. We go to the bottom of the 9th, still tied at 2. And let's see, we're going to have a new pitcher for Cedeno, obviously. I need to swap out the cards for Gomes and Swisher, which I already did. Okay. Now we're going to the bullpen for the Indians. Cleveland bullpen will be coming on to start Tampa bullpen, not Cleveland bullpen. What am I talking about? Cleveland bullpens if we go extra innings. Tampa bullpen, it's going to be Brandon Gomes. So Brandon Gomes is on. There you see his numbers in real life. Let's see what he did in the replay. All right. Actually be Gomes against Gomes, because John Gomes is scheduled to be the leadoff hitter. How about that? Gomes against Gomes. Unless they want to pinch hit with Lindor and have Perez take over as catcher. That's a possibility, of course. That's a strong possibility now that I think about it. But first things first, let's get Gomes into the game officially as the pitcher. And he's now in there. And on the replays, 1-0 with a 1.64 ERA, 11 innings pitched, 8 hits, 5 walks, 7 strikeouts, and a home run allowed. And Yan Gomes will actually be called back. So Gomes is going to be called back. Perez will be the new catcher if it goes extra innings. And Francisco Lindor will pick up a bat and pinch hit, as the rested players are now eligible. Well, they've been eligible for a couple of innings, but definitely in the 9th they're eligible. So Francisco Lindor will be your pinch hitter for Cleveland. As John Gomes' day is done, or night is done, however you want to look at it. So Francisco Lindor on the replay is hitting .333. He's 5 for 15 in his short time up with the Indians. He's 5 for 15 with a home run. So he certainly has the capability of ending the game with one swing of the bat. So Gomes is on for Tampa after Cedeno went 1 inning and did his thing. So now Lindor leads off the bottom of the 9th. See what he can do against Gomes. 2-11, and that's, how about this? He's got a chance to hit a home run right here to walk it off. It would be a pinch hit home run to walk this game off on a 2-11. A 1-10, and this is gone, and the game is over just that quickly. It is gone. Francisco Lindor comes in and hits a pinch hit home run. And boy, talk about Terry Francona pushing the right button there. He did it. Francisco Lindor comes through with a walk-off home run. And there's your ball game. Brandon Gomes faces one batter and takes the loss. Boy, talk about a tough way to take a loss. 3-2 your final. The winner is going to be Shaw. The loser is Gomes. And we'll get the statistics for the rest of the game as I go to the box score on the computer and get these numbers for you. But right now, they are mobbing. The Cleveland teammates are mobbing Lindor. Gomes is walking off in shame. And they are mobbing Lindor at the plate as they walk it off, and Cleveland improves to 12-7. The Rays drop to 11-8. Let's get the totals here for each team. For Cleveland, 3 runs, 9 hits, and no errors. And they left on 8. For Tampa Bay, let's bring this in a little bit closer here. For Tampa Bay, 2 runs, 6 hits, and no errors. And they left on 5. Winning pitcher was Shaw. He gets his first win of the season. He's now 1-2. Losing pitcher was Gomes. He takes his first loss. He drops to 1-1. And again, Cleveland improves to 12-7. Tampa falls to 11-8. So as I look at the standings to this point, the Mets are at 12-7. Cleveland has now tied them at 12-7 because the Mets lost to Arizona. So we got a first place tie at 12-7. Tampa Bay is 11-8. So with the loss, they fall a game back. So it's getting crowded up near the top. Got Seattle and Boston also up there fighting for second and third place. So the man of the hour, let's turn it this way so you can see it better. Francisco Lindor, a walk-off, pinch hit walk-off home run. I don't know if I ever had a pinch hit walk-off home run. I've had walk-off home runs before. I don't know about pinch hit walk-off home runs. It may have happened before. It may not. I don't know. If that's the first time, then you saw it right here on the video. And a wild one here in Cleveland. They had the game won, and it looks like they looked like they were going to give the game away by giving up the 2-run homer in the 8th, and then avoiding a potential big home run also in the 8th. Another 2-run homer from Souza, but got the split chance came in their favor. Kept the game at 2, and then they came back and won it. So a wild one, but Cleveland hangs on and wins in front of the home fans. And so the next video in the Demolition League will be matchup number 3. It'll be the Cincinnati Reds taking on the San Francisco Giants. Don't know the particulars of the starting pitchers or anything just yet until I figure it out and set it up, but that's the matchup there. Cincinnati, through 18 games, is 8-10, and San Francisco is 6-12, so they're kind of the bottom feeders. But if one of them can sweep a series, they can get right back into things. But it's still a long way to go. I mean, 54 games is a way to go. We're only 1/3 through, so anything can happen. You never know. So that's going to do it from here. Cleveland walks it off on a Francisco Lindor homer. And until next time, enjoy playing whatever game you choose to play, however you choose to play it, and I will see you all down the road.